Let's go ahead and zoom on in here when we get just a second, and then we'll kind of talk about who this warning includes and who it does not. So you can see this storm pretty much right over Oxford, and that is where that circulation is. So if you're in Oxford right now, if you know somebody that's at Ole Miss, I know school's still out right now, but I know a lot of folks do stay on campus. Go ahead and go to your tornado safe place. This tornado warning includes Oxford, areas off to the north and east of Oxford as well. And again, this tornado warning is going to go in effect until 9 a.m. Again, if you're just joining us, no tornado warning in effect for the Memphis metro area or anybody up in DeSoto County. This is the only tornado warning that we have. And again, it's for the storm that is pretty much right on top of Oxford here. And that tornado is moving off to the northeast at about 35 or 45 miles an hour. No confirmed tornado with this. Definitely some circulation in there, though. And that's what we're concerned about, is at any point this storm could end up producing a tornado. So that is why we're with you right now. Again, this is a tornado warning for Oxford, Lafayette County up to Marshall County and parts of Union County. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here and get a little bit of a tighter view as to what is going on here. And if you were with us this morning, I'm going to kind of use the same products to just kind of determine where this area of rotation is and where it could be going. And you can see on our rotation detector that green is showing up. That is an area where there is some spin in the atmosphere. Now, this does not look very impressive to me, but the situation that we're in here is that we're having these brief little spin up tornadoes that touch down, throw a couple of things around, and then they're done. So these are not going to be massive tornadoes that are causing tons of damage, but it definitely will be enough to throw some stuff around if that thing can manage to get itself on the ground. Again, right now, we have no confirmed reports that this is a tornado that is on the ground, but there is definitely some rotation there over the city of Oxford moving off to the northeast. I'm going to check our velocity, and the problem we're going to run into is this is just out of the range of the radar in Memphis. It's kind of far away, so we're going to kind of bounce back and forth between the Memphis radar and the Columbus, Mississippi radar. I think that might give us a little bit of a better view. And I know this kind of looks like spilled paint. I said it earlier this morning, but what you're looking at here is anytime the red and the green is together, like right there, that is an area where we have some rotation, and that is an area that could be trying to produce a tornado. Again, right now we don't have any confirmed reports of this being an actual tornado on the ground, but I do want to give you an early heads up just in case this thing does decide to drop a tornado. Before we zoom in here, I want to kind of zoom out and give you an idea of where this thing is going. So let's put a storm track on this. Again, this thing, possible tornado right on top of Oxford right now. This is moving off at about 55 miles an hour. So when we drag that out, Hickory Flat at 856, now we're getting into southern Benton and Tippah counties. And I know y'all are not in the warning yet in Benton and Tippah counties, but if this thing can hold together, we're going to have to watch out for you. This is also going to come into Union County, Myrtle, and New Albany just before or just around 9 a.m. Blue Mountain College area by about 9:06, Dumas by 9:14, Jumpertown and Boonville getting a little closer to 9:30. Again, that's if this thing can hold together. The tornadoes that we have seen today have touched down for, I'm telling you, 30 seconds and then they're done. So I cannot imagine that it is going to be a massive tornado that lasts a long time. But we're on the air because there could be a quick spin up that is just enough to cause some damage. And again, with this thing being right over Oxford, and that is a city that we definitely want to pay attention to. It's definitely a population center. So this thing is really going to be up to the north and east of town. You see that area of rotation there. And we'll zoom this in a little closer and you'll be able to see some of the roadways. Here's County Road 217, County Road 221. This is now to the east of State Highway 7, Highway 7 North. Of course, that goes right through Oxford. So we're talking again on that north and east side of town. This is where we're seeing that rotation. Eastwind Drive, McRae Drive, Deer Run Road. And I want to kind of move up to the north because that's where the circulation is now. Let's talk about where it could be going. County Road 212, County Road 229. It honestly looks like this thing might follow up County Road 202, which is right there. And that, of course, curves way off to the north and east. So if you live along County Road 202, that is generally where that area of circulation is going to be pretty close to. And you can see those brighter colors showing up. That is an area where we're starting to see, again, some more of that circulation coming into the community of Kiel. So if you're in Kiel, we need you in your safe place right now. Now let's talk about your tornado safety tips. And before I do that, I want to kind of zoom out and give you an idea of who is in the warning and who is not. You can see that red box there. I can pretty much tell you that this thing is east of Oxford now. As soon as this warning came out, we had that warning and the circulation was right over Oxford. So the area of concern is now east of Oxford, generally moving to northeastern Lafayette and eventually toward Union County, Myrtle, and New Albany. That is who is in that tornado warning right now. So if that is you, if I'm calling out your towns, here's where we need you to go. Let's talk about those tornado safety tips. We want you to go to an interior room on the lowest floor of the building that you're in. If you're in an apartment complex or a two-story house, find the lowest floor you can to get in. If you got a basement, that's great. Most people do not. Put on your shoes, cover your head with something. That might not be a bad idea. And of course, stay away from windows. Nobody should be driving right now in eastern Lafayette County or up toward New Albany and I-22, because that is where this circulation and possible tornado is going to be tracking. Let's go back to the radar now. And again, we're still following this area of circulation now east of Oxford, and it continues to move off to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. So it's moving pretty quickly here. And I want to just zoom out and kind of put this all in perspective, because in general, in the Memphis metro, our severe weather threat is winding down. I know we've got the heavy rain. We definitely have the flooding, but the concern for stuff like this in Memphis is winding down. It's still going to be a concern for the next little bit in North Mississippi. That's where we have that tornado watch that is in effect until 11 a.m. Again, I'm pretty sure things are pretty clear from Oxford now, so we're going to give the all clear to Oxford, Mississippi. If you are in Oxford right now, we're going to give you the all clear. If you're at Ole Miss, if you are on campus right now, we can give you the all clear as the circulation has gone ahead and moved off to your east. Who we're still concerned about is areas north and east of Oxford. If you live north and east of Oxford in northeastern Lafayette County, that is the area where this circulation is coming into. And I'll tell you what, even if there is not a tornado in this, the damaging wind gust, that is going to be a problem for you. It does not take a tornado to cause damage. You can get a good wind gust of 50 or 60 miles an hour in a storm like this, and that can easily bring down trees, power lines, and all kind of stuff, and then you're without power. We saw this earlier in Memphis. We had thunderstorm wind gusts come through. We had all sorts of trees down, and now we've got power outages. So that is going to be a concern for us. Again, even if there's not necessarily a tornado, that is something that we are going to continue to watch. But we do have a tornado warning that remains in effect for northeastern Lafayette County, Mississippi. This goes until 9 a.m. So unless this is canceled early, we're going to be with you here for the next 20 minutes or so, keeping an eye on the potential of a tornado here. And again, I'm honestly a little more concerned with this just for the damaging wind gust out of this storm. And again, this is a tornado warning, guys, so if we can update that super down there, tornado warning, not a tornado watch. But either way, this storm is going to be producing some damaging wind gusts, torrential rain. I'm going to go ahead and say nobody should be driving on I-22. If you're coming out of southern Benton County and you're going toward New Albany and eventually toward Tupelo, put a pause on that trip. Let this last round of storms come through, because like I said, even if we do not have a tornado out of this storm, the damaging wind gusts are still going to cause some issues. So I want to put a storm track on those damaging wind gusts, because that's something we've been talking about, but I'm sure everybody wants to know, what time are they going to be in your neighborhood? So this is really the area right here that has the potential to produce some damaging wind gusts. And if we move that off to the north and east at about 50 miles an hour, that is where it's going to be. be. So Myrtle and New Albany by about 9 a.m., Blue Mountain by 9:07, and then eventually into northern Prentiss County. That's just out of our official area, but I used to work down in these neck of the woods too, so I'm familiar with North Mississippi, and I know a lot of folks can get the Memphis TV stations on their rabbit ears. So if you are watching in Prentiss County, check in with your stations down there, because this could be a storm that will eventually affect you as well. So again, like I said, Oxford, you've been given the all clear. The National Weather Service agrees with that. They have officially taken Oxford out of the tornado warning. So you can see who's in now. It's that extreme northeastern corner of Lafayette County and then into Union County as well. We've also got a tiny sliver of Marshall County that is included in this. And what I'm afraid has happened is, because they clipped this bottom little corner of Marshall, we have probably some phones going off in Holly Springs, in Byhalia up there. I can tell you that you are not under the threat of a tornado. This tornado is mainly going to be a Lafayette County and then a Union County issue. So if you're getting a phone alert in Holly Springs, you do not have to worry about the tornado warning. It is just that extreme southeastern corner of Marshall County. Last update from the National Weather Service says this tornado warning continues until 9 a.m. at 8:40. Just a couple of moments ago, a severe thunderstorm which was capable of producing a tornado was located near the Cambridge community, 12 miles north and east of Oxford. So that is a promising sign, and I know it might not seem like it, but the reason I say that is because they are not confirming a tornado on the ground. They're telling us, yeah, there is some circulation in here, but right now we cannot confirm that it is on the ground. So that's some good news in that we're not seeing any damage. We can check our debris detector, and what this would tell us is if a tornado has touched down, the radars now can actually tell the difference between a raindrop and something bigger like shingles or branches or stuff. And we saw this earlier in DeSoto County when we had a tornado. And this is super messy, so I don't want that to alarm you. That's just what looks to be a pretty bad scan. I'm going to check the Columbus radar. Like I said, we're pretty far away from it, so you can see nothing showing up on our debris detector. You would see a big yellow circle, and we're just not seeing that right now. So it's a promising sign that we're not seeing any debris showing up. That means the tornado is not on the ground, at least as of right now, and it has not caused any damage. Now, that is not to say a quick tornado cannot spin up. So I want you to be safe. I want you to pay attention, and I want you to be in your safe place if you're in Lafayette County, north and east of the Oxford, city of Oxford, because there is still a potential for a quick tornado to spin up. We've seen this twice already this morning, where a really quick tornado touched down for a matter of seconds, but it was enough to throw some things around. We had a carport thrown around down in Olive Branch with a likely tornado earlier, and some trees that were thrown around up near Brownsville with a quick tornado. So these are going to be super quick spin ups, and that's why I would just rather you go ahead and get into your tornado safe place just to be on the safe side. Let's get an update on that storm track here, and what this will show us is, again, those communities where they are going. Myrtle 905, Hickory Flat by 906, and you can see our BTI here. What that number is, that is our tornado index. It's a scale of 1 to 10 of the likelihood of this being a tornado on the ground. Right now it's a 3.3. So if you like to think about it in percentages, that's a 33% chance that this storm is producing a tornado. So not high odds, but they're also not zero. So that's why we want to take this seriously and still have you remain in your tornado safe place until this warning expires. Again, that is going to go until 9 a.m. for Lafayette County, Mississippi. While we are keeping an eye on that, I do want to give an update on what's going on in the Memphis area and in other areas around the Mid-South, because I know a lot of folks are going to be asking, oh, well, what about me? Well, in a rule of thumb, if we're not talking about you, that's good news. That means nothing too serious is happening in your area. But if we can zoom out here, you can really see that the worst of the weather is starting to move out. We've still got the reds, we've still got the yellows, we've still got the oranges in North Mississippi, even into Selma right now. That is where we're having that very heavy rain. One tornado warning now for Lafayette County, Mississippi, but behind it, our rain chances in our amount of rain, let's say, go down. So it is still raining in Memphis. I can hear it on our roof on Shelby Oaks Drive in Northeast Memphis, but it's not as heavy as it was earlier. So gradually we're going to start to see that rain taper off. Notice Poinsett County, Harrisburg, you're done with the rain. Forest City, it's winding down for you. So give this about another hour, hour and a half. We'll start to see that rain come to an end in Memphis, and we certainly need it to, because we have seen so much rain in the last 24 hours. In fact, let's take a look at those rainfall totals here. And what this will do is kind of tell us where the heaviest rain has fallen. And I'll tell you, unfortunately, it's been right in the Memphis metro. Where that purple is in Lee County and Phillips County in Arkansas, that's where we've seen over 6 inches of rain. Here in the Memphis metro, over 4 inches in the last 24 hours. So we have serious concerns with flooding continuing across the area. And of course, our severe weather concern does continue in far northern Mississippi. Folks, I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. I kind of just have to repeat myself for the folks that could be just joining in. But if you are just clicking on, maybe you're just getting your alert on the phone, we are following a tornado warning that's in effect for northeastern Lafayette County until 9 a.m. That also includes Union County, which is officially outside of the area that we cover here at ABC 24. But I know some people can get us on antenna. So if you're in Myrtle, New Albany, near the Blue Springs Toyota plant, that is an area that will also be impacted by this storm. But our focus, of course, is on Lafayette County, and good news for us is that storm is moving out of Lafayette County. So even if it does end up producing a spin-up tornado, it is right on the edge. There's your county line between Union County and Lafayette County. So we've got maybe another 10 minutes of this tornado warning, and I think it will be out of our hair and become more of an issue for New Albany and Union County. But until then, we are going to keep a very close eye on this for our friends in Lafayette County. If you are off to the east of Oxford, even along Highway 278, I would not be traveling anywhere along 278 from Oxford toward Pontotoc and Tupelo right now, because that rain and wind is just so strong. I'm going to go back to our shear mode, and what this is going to show us again is where the area of rotation is, and you can see it right there. Some of this might just be some strong winds showing up, not necessarily a tornado, but like I said, those strong winds can still do just as much damage. So that's moving off to the north and east, and within the next 5, 6, 7 minutes should be out of Lafayette County. But for right now, if you're in northeastern Lafayette County, stay in that tornado safe place. We want you to stay there until this storm completely clears your area. What we can do also is check our Barron button, and this shows us in a kind of a different view where that rotation is showing up and the strongest winds are showing up. And so we really just have all these different products to try to make it as easy to understand as possible. And I know that's a lot easier said than done for people. I know sometimes we talk a little bit over your head, but east of Oxford, we are still seeing areas of rotation here along and north of Highway 278, moving off to the north and the east, again at about 55 miles an hour. I don't have any indication right now that this is an actual tornado that has touched ground, but it is still capable nonetheless. So latest update from the National Weather Service, they agree with what I just said at 8:49, which is right about now. A severe thunderstorm was capable of producing a tornado over Etta, the Etta community, are 10 miles west of New Albany. That's moving to the northeast at 55 miles an hour. So that is going to be right about there. Let's just get another update on those roads. Now just the very extreme northeastern portion of Lafayette County is included in this. So that's that area where you see that red. That is where we are a little more concerned about, hey, this looks like it could be spinning up something. We will keep an eye on it. So that's just to the east of Kiel. Here's Etta up here. So Etta's in Union County, Mississippi. If you know anybody near Etta, this is about where it's going, kind of following up to the north and east from Kiel up toward Etta. Let's get an update on those roads. County Road 249, County Road, let's see, that's 244. And eventually, like I said, here's the Union and Lafayette County line. So we're going to cross over here. This thing's going to be near Etta and eventually near Galway, County Road 29. So if you're in these communities, we want you to go ahead and be in your safe place as well. This tornado warning for Lafayette County, it goes for another 10 minutes, but as we zoom on out, you could see it just barely includes Lafayette County at this point. It's that small northeastern sliver that is still in effect. And all that racket you're hearing, that's good news because they're canceling the tornado watch for some of us. Tornado watch has been canceled for Alcorn, Benton, Lafayette, Lee, Marshall, and then let's see, Tippah, and a couple of counties in Tennessee. So what we can do actually, while we're keeping an eye on this tornado warning, I want to give you an update on our tornado watch, which is where tornadoes are possible. So basically, the more and more we see these tornado warnings trimmed back, the better. And the better we see the tornado watches trimmed back. So the areas in yellow, you remain under a tornado watch technically until 11 a.m. But I do think it's going to be allowed to expire sooner once this batch of storms moves out. If you are in eastern Arkansas, you are done with the severe weather threat. Your rain is winding down. Flooding going to remain a concern, but that water should start to go down a little bit. That's the same story for Memphis and DeSoto County. I know it's still raining here, but that rain will be winding down. Panola, Coahoma, Quitman counties, you're looking better as well. Most of western Tennessee also starting to clear out now that these storms are moving away. So that is some great news. We love to tell you when we can cancel an alert and give you the all clear to go about your day. Again, look out for some rain. It is going to continue, but it is looking better. All right, update from the DeSoto County Sheriff's Department. I-55 southbound at State Line Road. We have water that's in the roadway. Wrecks on both sides of the highway. So I-55 at State Line, probably not a good option for you this morning as we are continuing to see this flooding rain. Even though the rain is starting to slack off a little bit, we're going to be dealing with the flooding for a while. But again, the reason we're on with you right now, the reason we're covering up GMA and CW30 is this area of rotation in northeastern Lafayette County that is strong enough that the National Weather Service says, yeah, that could try to spin up a quick tornado here across northeastern Lafayette County. And as it moves off to the north and east, it could continue to do so. Now it's going to move into Union County, so Union County is up next. If it holds together, we'll keep an eye on southern Tippah County and then into Alcorn County. That's going to kind of be our last hurrah. If these storms are going to do anything, that's kind of the zone to watch. Alcorn into Tippah and then Lafayette and Union. If anything's going to happen severe weather-wise, give it another hour and it could happen there. But after that, I think we will be looking a lot better. Again, this tornado warning goes until the top of the hour, so we're going to stay with you until then. And then hopefully, if this expires, we can send you back to your regularly scheduled programming. But it definitely looks like some wind in here nonetheless. I'm not very impressed with any kind of a tornado signature, but I will tell you that damaging wind gusts right in here coming into Union County. Here's I-22. Like I said, if you are traveling down near Tupelo this morning to Tupelo or from the Tupelo area up toward Memphis, wait an hour, maybe wait an hour or two, because those damaging winds are going to come right across I-22 near New Albany and near the Toyota plant at the Blue Springs exit in Union County. So again, damaging wind gusts a concern. Maybe a spin-up tornado tries to pop up here, but like I said, I'm going to do some investigation here on those radar products, and I am just not too impressed with what I'm seeing. It is close enough that I understand why they issued the warning, and I don't want you to let your guard down because it does not take much for one of these little areas to spin up. Again, what you're looking at is the winds inside the storm. So greens are going toward the radar at Millington, reds are going away. Anytime you see reds or greens closer together, that is where there is some spin, there's some circulation. That could be trying to produce a funnel cloud or a tornado. So we do have a couple of areas leaving Lafayette County into Union County that could try to spin up a tornado. So I do want you to be in your safe place in those areas, but very quickly, within the next 5 or 6 minutes, this is going to become an issue for Union County, Mississippi, and we will be able to give Lafayette County the all clear and return you to your regular programming. I said it earlier, but just in case you missed it, we did give the all clear to Oxford and Ole Miss. They were kind of right under the thing when it looked like it might be trying to spin up a tornado, but it has moved well off to your east east. So Oxford, the Ole Miss campus, I know campus is closed right now, not a lot of folks there, but if you are staying on campus right now, you are in good shape from the tornado threat. That heavy rain, the wind is going to continue for a while, but if there is a tornado, it's going to be long past you. Right now, it's crossing into Union County, even into Pontotoc County down in northeastern Mississippi. So I-22, like I said, I would not be traveling on for the next little bit. I have a feeling I'll be able to let you go soon. We are going to stay. We normally do a cut-in on air at around this time, so we're going to stay with you through that, and then hopefully after that this will be canceled and we can send you back to 25 words or less at the top of the hour on ABC 24. We're going to keep a watch on that, but it is technically leaving our area. So if you do happen to watch us in Union County, Mississippi, that's technically part of the Tupelo and Columbus, Mississippi television market. So I would advise you to check in with them. I don't want to abandon you, but we just technically do not have coverage over Union County. We stop at Lafayette County and then Benton and Tippah County. So everything down here is kind of out of our jurisdiction. So check in with WTVA down in Tupelo, our WCBI in Columbus. They will have the latest updates for you there as this storm continues to move off to the east. It's becoming less and less of an issue for Lafayette County. We will see if they drop it officially for Lafayette County and we can let you go. But until we do that, I do want to give you just a wide radar update because hopefully, saying a prayer, once we let you go when this warning expires, I won't see you again until midday at 11 a.m., our newscast on ABC 24. So I want to get you one more update here across the area. That radar finally looking a lot better. I know it is still coming buckets in Memphis and Cordova into Fayette County. The heaviest of the rain still in Benton County, into Tippah County and Alcorn, even into Selma right now, seeing some very heavy rain. But over the next few hours, this rain is going to start to taper off. It's going to take a while for that flooding to go down, though. So even by the evening commute, we could easily still see some spots of water on the roadways and definitely some delays for that drive home from work today. And especially if you're going out for lunch, keep an eye on the roadways because there could be some issues with ponding and water on the roadways there. Again, we're just keeping an eye on this. Hopefully the National Weather Service will let us know at 9 a.m. that this tornado warning will be officially allowed to expire. I think the threat is pretty much done for Lafayette County. And I know we had a little sliver of Marshall County that was included, but it's very rural out there, just a street or two. And I think we could pretty much give all of those folks the all clear within the next 2 minutes. So probably what's going to happen is the Weather Service is going to take this box here that you see. That's your tornado warning box, and they're going to cut out the rest of Lafayette County and the rest of Marshall County, and at that time we'll be able to send you back to your regularly scheduled program. But until then, we're going to stay with you. I will tell you, like I said, I don't have any reports of a tornado actually touching the ground in Oxford. This was a precautionary tornado warning, so this was issued because the National Weather Service said, yeah, there could be some rotation. We've seen storms like this earlier today produce tornadoes. So we're going to go ahead and put out a tornado warning. But the good news with this system is it does not look like this storm system in Lafayette County did produce a tornado. So that is good news. No damage showing up on the radar, no debris. So hopefully we can give that all clear soon. Who I am going to still keep an eye on is Benton County, Tippah County, over toward Alcorn County for about the next hour or so, maybe the next hour or two, as this last batch of heavy rain moves on out of here. By 10 a.m., 10:30 at the latest, that heaviest rain should be done. And when this batch of storms moves out, that will be the end of our severe weather threat. So as soon as that gets over past Corinth, everybody will have the all clear. But for everybody else, if you're not in Lafayette County, if you're not in Tippah, Benton, or Alcorn counties, we can give you the all clear because your severe weather threat is over. We are still concerned, though, about the flash flooding and the heavy rain. We still have several roads that are closed. We've got those over on our website right now, abc24.com. You can also download the ABC24 app. We've got the road closures there, and you can keep an eye on the radar. So when we go away, we're not leaving you. We've got that radar on our website that you can follow anytime. And like I said, that's also on that free ABC24 app. All right, it is 9 a.m. So officially here, I'm waiting on the official word from the National Weather Service. This tornado warning should be disappearing here shortly. Now they are going to issue a new one here. Okay, so we're gonna be staying on here. We have a new tornado warning. This is going to go for parts of Alcorn, Benton, Lafayette, Marshall, Prentiss, Tippah, and Union until 9:45. Folks, I hate to do this, but if I'm going to be on for 45 minutes, I have absolutely got to get a sip of water. So let me do that, and I will be right back. We've been talking for a while this morning, let me tell you. But we're here to keep you safe. That's what we're going to do. So like I said, new tornado warning. This includes southern Benton County, southern Tippah County. This does include the city of Ripley. Also parts of Alcorn County. It does not include Corinth, but that's generally the area that this storm is going to be tracking. So we're going to watch it, and I'm going to repeat myself here in a little bit just because these folks' phones out here in Ripley and New Albany and Boonville, they're just starting to go off with the alert. So when more of those folks click in to see what's going on, I'm going to kind of recap everything just so they are aware. Pretty much Lafayette County is clear. Technically, the National Weather Service clipped part of Lafayette County with the warning, but it's really closer to the Etta community in Union County, Mississippi that we're going to watch because that's the area that is going to cross over I-22 and is going to be up into southern Benton County near the Blue Mountain area, near Dumas and near Ripley. If this thing is on the ground with a tornado, that's generally where it is going to be going. So let's check out our rotation detector here. And again, if you're just joining us here, we have a new tornado warning that has been issued. This goes for Union County, a sliver of Lafayette County. It does not include Oxford. Goes for Tippah County, Benton County, and parts of Alcorn County. Does not include Corinth, though. That's going to go until 9:45. So we're going to check our shear detector here, kind of determine where that rotation is. And you can see we do have some rotation here. And actually, the National Weather Service says, hey, check out that Columbus radar. So that's what we're going to do. And yeah, I definitely see what they're talking about. That little area, I told you a little bit ago, and I know these colors don't mean anything to you, but pretty much what we're looking at here, this is the wind inside the storm. This is not where it's raining, it's where it's windy. So the brighter the color, the stronger the wind, and then your different colors correspond to what direction the wind is blowing. So in this case, we're looking at things from the Columbus, Mississippi radar down at the Air Force Base there. Very familiar with that area. I worked there for about 2 years. So the greens here are going toward the radar site down in Columbus. And I know this updated a little bit, but same thing, follow along. Reds are going away from the radar site. So anywhere you see those two kind of clashing together like that over the Galway community, east of the Etta community, that is an area where we have a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. And that is an area that if there is going to be a tornado, that is where it is going to be. To me, it's not an incredibly impressive signature, but I want to be proactive with this because we have had two tornadoes, what are likely tornadoes so far today, that started out with a signature like this and then quickly became a quick little spin-up tornado. Now, if you're just joining us, like I said, the good news is these are not going to be long-term tornadoes. These are not going to be strong tornadoes. These are going to be quick tornadoes that spin up, throw some things around, and then they'll be done. So right now, this is in Union County, Mississippi. Galway, Darden community, right there along County Road 14, County Road 19, Garden Lake Road. That's what we're talking about. We've got some houses in here, and if there is a tornado, that is about where it is going to be. Let's check out our shear mode again. That's going to kind of focus in on things and clean up that horrible view, which, by the way, I do not like showing because I know nobody understands it. I think this is a little bit easier. This just kind of lights up in different colors depending on how strong the rotation is. Green is generally weak rotation. If we see some reds in here, that would be strong, and then yellow would be that extreme rotation. So right now, just some green showing up, but there is definitely some spinning going on right now in Union County. And I said earlier, Union County is technically not under our jurisdiction. It takes over in the Columbus and Tupelo, Mississippi television market. So they get different TV stations down in Union County, but we take back over for our friends in Tippah County and in Alcorn County, also in Benton County. So that's why we're kind of with you, is because eventually this storm is going to cross back into our jurisdiction and has the potential to produce a tornado. All right, just checking in some new things here. Always following the chat and making sure I'm not missing anything. Let's see, got a new update. This is from DeSoto County Sheriff's. Brantley Road between Highway 61 and Wilson Mill Road, is closed due to water over the roadway. Also, Sam Cooper westbound near exit 7, which is Highland, is blocked off by MPD because of flooding. So I know we're focusing in on our tornado warning, and obviously we're going to continue to do that because that's the most imminent threat. But flooding remains a concern. And if you're going to be out and about in the Memphis area, you need to expect to have a very slow commute and be running into some flood water, and be prepared to turn around if you do see some flooded roadways. All right, I'm going to zoom back on in here and investigate just a little bit more, and then we'll do a storm track on this and kind of time things out. I told you when we got to the red, that was going to be some stronger rotation. So interesting signs of some stronger rotation showing up over Myrtle. Again, that is in Union County. Regardless, all of this moving off to the north and east at about 55 miles an hour. So eventually that is going to clip southern portions of Tippah County and is going to eventually come into Alcorn County. Corinth, you're not in the warning right now, but we're going to watch you very carefully. All right, let's put a storm track on this, and this will kind of give us an idea what time this storm is going to be where. And what I'm tracking here, these are the winds and the potential of a tornado. So this is not necessarily what time it's going to start raining in your neighborhood. This is what time the worst of the weather is going to get there. New Albany by about 9:11. Dumas, Mississippi in southern Tippah County by about 9:27. Jumpertown in northern Prentiss County by 9:39. Boonville 9:42. Then it crosses back into our area after going through Prentiss County, and it's going to be near Farmington in Alcorn County by about 9:53. Burnsville in Tishomingo County by about 10:02, and that's when things should start to clear up, at least for the Mid-South. We do have some flooding, also Sea Isle and White Station. We got flooding all over the place in Memphis. Yes, if we have a picture of that, let's get it ready. And we can kind of bounce back and forth between what's going on here in the metro, what's going on down in northern Mississippi. But if we do have that picture, let's go ahead and get ready to take that. Yeah, let's take that. This is going to be Sam Cooper and Highland, and we'll show you what is going on there. We're going to come right back to our tornado warning, but I do want to talk about the flooding for a little bit in the Memphis metro area, because we have significant flooding on multiple roadways across town. And you can see there MPD is blocking off those lanes. We've got some flooding there, Sam Cooper and Highland. So it is a slow commute. We've got flooding out there, not only on Sam Cooper, also on 240, also at Sea Isle and White Station, all kind of stuff causing some flooding around town. So take it slow. If you don't have to be on the roads, don't. But if you do, take it slow and never drive through flooded roadways. All right, let's get back to the radar. Let's get back to our tornado warning. Still seeing indications of rotation here. Coming into New Albany, getting ready to cross over I-22. And this is mainly going to be a concern. I know technically Benton County, the southern part of Benton County is in the warning. Technically, part of Marshall County is in the warning. Technically, part of Lafayette County is in the warning. But this is really becoming more of a concern for southern Tippah County, let's say Ripley and points to the south, and then our friends up in Alcorn County. They're going to start to watch this. And I think what's going to happen here shortly is the National Weather Service is going to kind of shrink that warning down a little bit, and we'll be able to give some more people the all clear as they go about their day. They'll be able to go about their day without concern for severe weather as things start to clear up just a little bit. New Albany technically out of our area officially, but if you are traveling I-22 near New Albany down to Tupelo, you've got the Blue Springs Toyota plant in there. Very strong winds just getting ready to cross over the interstate. And that's also where we've got that potential for some rotation coming right into New Albany. So if you've got friends or family in New Albany, Mississippi, make sure they're in their tornado safe place. Again, good news is we don't have any official reports of a tornado being seen on the ground, but there's definitely some spinning going on in there that is going to be approaching New Albany. Tornado or not, we are going to have some very strong winds coming through Union County, eventually toward Dumas, Blue Mountain, and Ripley in Tippah County, possibly as far to the north as Corinth here in the next little bit. We'll check our debris mode. I don't expect to see anything, and we don't. Again, luckily, it does not appear that we have any debris being picked up on the radar. The radars, they're smart enough now that they can actually tell the difference between a raindrop and something bigger, like a shingle or a roof tile or something. So usually when we do have a tornado hit, we'll see a big yellow blob right there. We saw that earlier this morning in Olive Branch, actually. We don't have that right now. What that tells me is this tornado has not touched the ground yet. Hopefully it does not. I do not want any more tornadoes today. Also, an update to that warning. I was just talking about this. They were going to trim that down a little bit. Benton County, you are all clear. Marshall County, you're all clear. Lafayette County, you are all clear. This warning for right now is going to go for Union County, southern Benton County, and parts of Alcorn County. Again, it's coming right up on New Albany, just like we were talking about. The National Weather Service agrees. So again, for the folks in the back, this is Benton County, Union County, Prentiss County, and Alcorn County. And again, that is going to go until 9:45. Really quickly, while this is technically out of our area, again, if you are watching in New Albany, technically, we don't have responsibility over you. That's going to be down to the Columbus and Tupelo TV stations. I'm not forgetting about you because I know we've got folks traveling down there, but I do want to pause for a little bit and go back up to the Memphis Metro and kind of give you a wider view of what is going on a little closer to home here in Memphis as the storms start to move out. Again, the storms are really the worst of the storms, at least they are moving out. So we have a little area here that is really just a couple of our counties. It's over toward Corinth, Tippah County, Ripley, over in northeastern Mississippi that we're going to watch for the next little bit for some heavier rain and obviously the threat of some stronger storms. That should be gone within the hour, and we will keep heavy rain around here for the next little bit, but gradually that rain is coming to an end. Most of eastern Arkansas, Wynn, Forest City, Helena, West Helena, that rain is done. But we've still got a few more hours of rain, at least another hour in Memphis and a couple of more hours in northern Mississippi and in western Tennessee. Let's talk again about those rainfall totals because that's what's caused us so many problems today, is just simply how fast the rain has come down. We got a round of rain last night, more round of rain overnight. 6 inches of rain in Lee and Phillips County. We have several reports of flooded homes in eastern Arkansas, roads that are flooded, all sorts of problems going on over there. And of course, that continues into the metro where we got 4 to 6 inches of rain. Any spot that you can think of that typically floods, it is going to be flooded today. So just keep that in mind as you get out and about. Flooding is going to be a concern for us here for the next several hours. I'll show you our severe weather outlook, and you can see they've pinpointed it pretty well, the area that we're still keeping a close eye on. It's that northeastern Mississippi area. Soon enough, all of that is going to be trimmed out. Memphis, you're pretty much all clear of that severe weather threat. So let's hop back over to the radar. I'm going to actually choose the, let's go to the Memphis radar this time, and we'll zoom back in here to northeastern Mississippi because New Albany is really taking the heat of this storm right now in Union County. I mean, man, it is right on I-22. Myrtle, New Albany, you're all getting that heavy rain. And again, there is a potential for a tornado to spin up in here. I'm hopeful that it will not. We don't have any indication that it has right now. But for those areas around New Albany, if you know anybody there, go ahead and get into your tornado safe place. I want to move off to the north just a little bit because where this storm is eventually going to go, I should say, is near Dumas, Mississippi. Ripley, you're already getting it. And then it's going to be near Jumpertown and eventually up toward Corinth. So we're going to watch the Corinth area. I'm hopeful that this tornado will not ever touch the ground. It has not touched the ground yet. I'm hopeful that it will not, and it'll just be some heavy rain and gusty winds. But regardless, even in these areas that are not in the tornado warning, we are talking about damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, a ton of lightning. We're seeing wind gusts in here 50, 60, even 70 miles an hour moving off to the east through Tippah counties. Benton County starting to wind down for you. It's going to be a little bit longer, but up near Ashland, we're starting to see the heaviest of that rain move on out of here. Corinth, you're already getting some heavy rain. You're likely going to get a little bit of a break before this more dangerous storm comes in. That threat of some torrential rainfall and those wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour. I'm going to check out our rotation again. And I'm going to use that mode that not a lot of people like because it really doesn't make sense to people. But this is just so I can get a little bit of an idea of where that rotation is. And you can see a little bit of that rotation right there. We talk about the reds and the greens. Whenever they come together, we've got a little bit of rotation. So it's nothing too crazy. If I pixeled these, it probably wouldn't register over 20 or 30 miles an hour. But it does not take much in an environment like this and in storms like this for a quick little spin up to happen. So near Bratton Road and I-22, eventually passing over New Albany if there is a tornado in there, and then it's going to be moving off to the north and east toward southern Tippah County and toward Alcorn County. We can switch back to that shear rate mode. That will show you a little bit of a better idea of where that rotation is. Some stronger signs of maybe a little more spin up to the north of New Albany. The bottom line is anywhere in this storm could produce some heavy rain. Gusty winds definitely possible, and of course that spin up tornado threat is a concern. So Dumas, go ahead and get in your tornado safe place, even if it's just a precaution. Ripley, you're not technically in the tornado warning. Blue Mountain, you're not technically in the tornado warning, but Dumas, Mississippi, I want you in your safe place. All right, Dana, where did you say this was, the live picture that we're taking a look at? Sea Isle and White Station. Let's go live to that. We have significant flooding there. My goodness, somebody's trash can. They're not getting that back, I'm afraid. I mean, this has covered nearly the entire roadway here. I think this is Sea Isle going this way, and then White Station is over here kind of to our left. I think we're looking across. That's not right. It's opposite. Okay, thank you, Jackson, our neighborhood expert over here. So this is White Station, and then Sea Isle is that roadway down on the bottom. So White Station, a lot of flooded roadways there, and we've seen people driving through this, and we don't want you to do that because there could be a break in the road under there. And we've seen that already in eastern Arkansas where a roadway was kind of washed out, but it was covered in water like this, so you couldn't tell that the road was gone and people were driving into it, and that spells disaster. So it's better to just find an alternate route. Folks, you're in East Memphis. There's no shortage of other routes you can find to get around this mess. Again, this is White Station at Sea Isle Road. Significant flooding there. A few folks have lost their recycling bins, it looks like. I don't know if they're going to get those back as they continue to float down the street. All right, let's keep an eye on that shot, and we will take that back if anything interesting happens. Anything interesting is happening, but I do want to continue to focus on our tornado warning. Still signs of rotation in Union County, Mississippi, moving off to the north and east. Dumas, go ahead and get in your tornado safe place. And there's a couple of other towns in here in southern Tippah County that we want you to go ahead, even if it's not a significant sign of a tornado, a significant sign of rotation. If you're in Dumas, go ahead and take that tornado safe place. Jumpertown, that's in Prentiss County. Go ahead and take that safe place. And a small portion of Alcorn County is in it as well. It's possible that this warning gets extended a little bit more into Alcorn County. For right now, we're going to keep an eye on that. We're not going to worry about that. But the real city that I really want to watch is Dumas, Mississippi, because if there is a tornado that spins up, that is about where it's going to go in southern Benton County. All right, so let's get an update from the National Weather Service. That's what that horrid sound you just heard was. It's been ringing in my head all day. Let's see, 9:18, which is right now, a severe thunderstorm was capable of producing a tornado near Keonville, 7 miles northeast of New Albany. So it's now moved to the north and east of New Albany, and that is going to continue to move it off to the north and east. It's moving at a good clip. It looks like about 45 miles an hour now. So let's put another track on this. I just want to give you as early of a heads up as I possibly can. If you are in Tippah, Alcorn counties, or maybe if you're even watching in Prentiss County, we'll give you an idea of what time the worst of this weather is going to be in your neighborhood. And again, what I'm tracking here, this is not when the rain is going to start. You're likely going to see rain before this. This is when that worst of the weather is going to come in. All right, got an update from, this is a volunteer firefighter reporting maybe a funnel cloud up here in this area. That's Alcorn County and the Prentiss County line. There's definitely some spinning up there, so we're going to watch that. But for now, this storm that's coming out of New Albany Damaging wind gust, a bet. I guarantee you there's 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts in here, and the potential for a brief tornado to spin up. That's going to be near Jumpertown at 9:35, and then Burnsville in Tishomingo County by about 10:14. And again, that's going to be in the southern portion of Alcorn County. All right, no tornado warning officially for this area we were just talking about in Alcorn County, but I do want to talk about it because anytime you see a firefighter reporting a funnel cloud, you want to take it seriously. I do not understand why, but in my experience, firefighters know a ton about the weather. I don't know why that is. Maybe they're just weather nerds like me, but I tend to take anything that a first responder says pretty seriously because they usually have to take those spotter classes, and they usually, in general, know what they are talking about. So there is definitely some rotation in here. It's kind of messy. It's not a good look, but I would not be surprised at all to see some kind of a funnel cloud down here coming up toward Highway 45. So there's not a tornado warning for this area yet, but there is enough rotation that we're going to watch it. So that's along Highway 45 south of Corinth, eventually going to come up here near 72. So there's no warning for that yet. But again, that was a report from a volunteer firefighter of a funnel cloud spotted near the Prentiss and Alcorn County line just about 2 minutes ago. And of course, that was right there north of Jumpertown. So we will keep an update on that. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll let you know what happens there. But for now, the one tornado warning that we do have is with this storm moving out of Union County into southern Tippah County. And I'll tell you, you see those colors starting to light back up, getting a little more red in there. That's where we have a little bit stronger rotation. So this is something we might want to keep a closer eye on here as it crosses back into southern Tippah County. Again, if you are in Ripley or Blue Mountain, you're not in the tornado warning. You have some nasty storms. You've got the damaging wind gusts. You've got the heavy rain. But the tornado threat is going to be near Dumas. If there is one, it's going to be near Dumas and then back off eventually toward Jumpertown and Prentiss County and southern portions of Alcorn County. So if you are in Dumas, now is the time to take your tornado safe place. Like I said, we don't have any reports of a tornado being on the ground here, but it's 20 minutes of your day. If it's 20 minutes of your day wasted, you can be upset with me. I'd rather you just spend 20 minutes of your day in your bathroom or your closet, making sure you and your family are safe, just to be on the safe side. I can give you the all clear, like I said, in 20 minutes. If you give me 20 minutes in your safe place in those areas in southern Tippah County in Dumas, Mississippi, that will be your best bet. So your tornado safe place, nobody down there has basements. Nobody in this area really has basements. So you want to get to the lowest floor of your home or whatever building you are in. Lowest floor you can. Find a room in the centermost portion of your home. For many of us, that's our bathroom, maybe a closet or a hallway. You want to find a room away from windows though. So if your bathroom has a window, maybe just sitting down in the hallway with the kids would be a little bit of a better bet until that storm passes. And of course, if it does get serious enough, you can always grab helmets for the kids, the bicycle helmets. Never a bad idea. Just to have on standby just in case a worst case scenario does happen. I don't think we're at that point yet. Like I said, I don't have any indication that this storm is actually producing a tornado. In fact, just to show you, I'll show you our debris mode. And I'm telling you, this is the product that probably looks the most like spilled paint to anybody. But I can tell you from what I'm looking at, I can tell you that right now there has been no damage from a tornado. If a tornado had hit something and tore up some trees, I would be able to clearly see it somewhere in this area on this product, and I'm not seeing that. So that is good news. Damaging wind gusts, definitely a possibility, but as of right now, no confirmed tornado. Rotation still picking up here. We are still watching that area now north and east of New Albany, coming into Dumas within the next 5, 6, 7 minutes. If there's going to be a tornado with it, it's going to be right there. It doesn't look that impressive to me, but at least right now, it does not take long for another spin up to happen and for something to touch down very quickly. National Weather Service says, yes, east of New Albany, and they're looking at a couple of different radars. So we're all in a chat room, basically. It's myself, the Weather Service, all the other media outlets, and all kind of emergency managers and fire people, so they can keep an eye on it and we can kind of all be on the same page, because when it's a situation like this, we are all about being on the same page and keeping you safe. So there's that area of rotation here. This is now to the north and east of New Albany, so this is coming up to Pleasant Ridge, coming up to Locum, heads up Graham and Halltown. These are all in Union County, Mississippi. But right here, that is your Tippah County line, and it's going to be moving into southern Tippah County soon. So Clariesville, Dumas, Pine Grove, Dry Creek in southern Tippah County, those are the areas that we want to be in your safe place. All right, storm spotters and the Union County Sheriff's Office, again, this is just outside of our area. They are reporting damage in western Union County near Etta. That's the area we were talking about. Now, like I said, that does not necessarily mean that we had a tornado. We could easily have had a damaging wind gust of 60 miles an hour that took down those trees or whatever happened there. We're going to try to get some more information on that as to what is going on there. But again, a circulation here, and guys, we can have them quiet down in the newsroom just a little bit here. We've got an open studio here at ABC 24, so sometimes the folks in the newsroom, they're doing other things. They're trying to work, but it can be a little loud in here. So again, Dumas area, we want you to be in your safe place right now. Again, that's the lowest floor of the building that you're currently in. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So a bathroom or a closet, a hallway, something like that. Get in the centermost portion of your home and stay away from windows, because if there is any damage from the storm, it is likely going to be through your windows. That's the easiest part that can be affected. So Dumas area, that is the area we are watching. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to zoom out here and I'm going to switch back to our rotation product. You can see that rotation there. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of a more detailed storm track on this. And I've actually got to step over here across the studio to do that. But I think in general, it's going to help us out here in the long term, because we're going to get a lot of smaller communities in here that might not have normally been picked up on the storm tracker. So again, this is moving off at about 45 miles an hour. So we'll click it right there. And then what I'll be able to do is actually change this to list some smaller communities that are in here that could also be impacted by this storm. So that's going to be Jumpertown, that is in Prentiss County by about 9:31, Blackland by 9:39, Synagogue by 9:41, Rienzi by 9:43, Searcytown by 9:47, and now we're in that southern portion of Alcorn County. So that is about where this rotation is going to go. Dumas, it's pretty close to you right now. So if there is some sort of a circulation, it's going to be just on the south side of town, south of the Dumas community, and moving off to the north and the east. Let's zoom back in here and get kind of back on street level view, and we can give you a better idea of where that rotation is. Again, coming out of Union County into southern Tippah County, there's Dumas. We've got County Road 747. This all moving off to the northeast. So Dry Creek, that community, time to be into your safe place as well. And you see right now Dry Creek now starting to get in on some of that circulation. So now it's pretty much passing through Tippah County. So Dumas, it looks like the worst is past you. Ripley at Blue Mountain, we already gave you the all clear, but that circulation is now passing into Prentiss County, and then it's going to pass into southern portions of Alcorn County. Maybe a little bit of good news here is that the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this same area. And that might be an indication that they think the storm might be weakening just a little bit. I'm not going to call that just yet, but this tornado warning officially goes for another 15 minutes. So we're going to stay with it until then, because you can see on our rotation detector, there are several little areas of rotation that is now moving into Prentiss County and eventually will clip the southeastern corner of Alcorn County. Corinth, I think the worst of this stays south of you. I know you're getting the heavy rain. I know you're getting the damaging winds, but as far as being tornadic, any tornadoes, I think it is going to be south of Corinth, down in the southern portion of Alcorn County. All right, I'm going to keep an eye on our Facebook comments, because sometimes people do have questions over there that might want to know, hey, what's happening in my community? So if you do have those right now, I'm going to keep an eye on that stream. Now's the time, if you're watching on Facebook, to mention anything if you have any questions or comments about where this is going. But for the most part, it is moving out of our area. Hopefully this will be our last area of concern. As it passes through Tippah County, we can get that tornado warning cleared, and then it will be all done. But until then, we're going to stay with you. We're going to keep talking about this and keep talking about the potential of a tornado. So right now, Tippah County, that far southeastern corner of Tippah County, Dumas, I know you're getting the rain now, but that wind and any threat of a tornado, it is pretty much past you now. And you see that heavy rain now really starting to come in. Jumpertown in northern Prentiss County, if there is a tornado in here, you're going to be the next ones up. Again, we don't have any reports of a tornado. Some reports of damage. Also could have been some straight line winds. That was from the Etta community on the western side of Union County. But as this storm continues to move off to the north and east, it's now looking like Jumpertown, eventually along Highway 45 between Boonville and Corinth. That is about where this is going to track. I want to get you a quick update on what is going on around the area. We're finally starting to see that rain come to an end in Memphis. Eastern Arkansas, you're pretty much all the way done with the rain. We do have some showers and even some moderate rain in eastern Shelby County, same as DeSoto County. But this whole line is kind of moving off to the east, and gradually over the next hour or so, we're going to see that rain move in out. You can see the lapse over the last hour. The light is there at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to see that rain wind down and all the worst of the weather moving off to the east. New update from the Weather Service still says this storm is just capable of producing a tornado. That means right now there is no report of a tornado. There's no confirmed sign that this storm is producing a tornado. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not in Tippah County, if you're not in Alcorn County, and I'll go ahead and say McNairy County, if you are not in these three counties right here, you are all clear from severe weather. Eastern Arkansas, you are clear. Memphis Metro, you are clear. Most of western Tennessee, again, we're going to watch McNairy County for about the next hour. We'll watch Alcorn and Tippah counties for about the next hour as well. But everybody else west of there is clear from any severe weather threat. That does not mean we're clear from the flooding. We're still going to have flooded roadways. A little bit more rain is going to come down. But in terms of any damaging winds or tornado threat, it's limited to these few counties, Tippah, Alcorn, and McNairy. And the worst of that is even going to be moving out of those areas here within about the next hour or so. Until then, though, we're going to be here with you. We're going to keep watching things. Ripley, the worst of that storm now past you. I know you got the heavy rain. You got the wind for a little bit. It is moving out. Blue Mountain, same story for you. The worst is moving on out of town. But you see that tornado warning does continue now for Prentiss County let's see, that's also going to be parts of Tippah County until 9:45. It doesn't look like any warning right now for Alcorn County, maybe just a small sliver of it, but that is something we're going to watch. We're going to see if this storm can hold together and if it can continue to maintain its intensity as it moves off to the north and east. So yeah, just a small sliver of Alcorn County. Like I said, I really think it's going to do a number like this, where it's going to be toward Jumpertown and Boonville and Prentiss County, and then eventually to the south of Corinth. So Corinth, I really do think that any tornado out of this storm is going to stay to the south of you. But if you are in Jumpertown, if you're in Boonville, and if you're south of Corinth, let's say if you're south of 72 and you're east of 45 in Alcorn County, that's that southeastern corner of the county, keep an eye on this one. There's no warning yet, but it could certainly be extended here in the next little bit. Still several signs of rotation popping up out of this. And let's switch it back over now to the Columbus radar. Just give us a little bit of a better view. We're a little closer to that radar site. And you can see what happens is on a rotation detector, when you get that line right there, that's more indicative of wind. So that's more of what we want to see. We want to see that line of damaging winds. I know that sounds cliche, but I'd rather take that, a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust, over a tornado. It can still do damage. We've still got severe thunderstorm warnings in place for that threat of damaging winds. But I'm hoping that this will mean the tornado threat is starting to wind down here over the next little bit. Again, Ripley, Blue Mountain, you've been in the clear. You're good from the severe weather threat, but we're going to continue to watch far southeastern Tippah County and then eventually into northern Prentiss County. That's going to be the next area of concern. Boonville, Jumpertown, you are next at risk if there is any kind of tornado. National Weather Service agrees this signature is weakening. Let's hope that means they can let this tornado warning go. And really what we're seeing here, this is showing your winds inside the storm. What we're really looking at here is a wind signature. The green is showing where that wind is really coming out from behind that storm and pushing out. We could have wind gusts along that line right there. You see that little line kind of in the colors there. If we switch back over to the radar, you can probably see it a little bit better. It's that leading edge of the storm. Within that storm, we've probably got wind gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour. So that's going to be a heads up for Boonville, Jumpertown, even southern Alcorn County. It is a good possibility that you could get in on some of those damaging wind gusts as well. Again, if you're just joining us, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I don't know if there's much else I can say. We are on the air because we have a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Union County, a sliver of Tippah County, and then into Prentiss County in northeastern Mississippi. That goes for the next 10 minutes. I think they could cancel it early, so we'll watch it, but everybody else starting to look better. We've still got the flooding in Memphis. In fact, if we can, go back to that shot at, let's see, that was Sea Isle and White Station. That shows some significant flooding, and it might actually be getting worse. You can see it's still raining out here, but it is slacking up just a little bit. So this is White Station Road that you see all that water on, and what's happened here, we probably had a drain that was clogged. Yeah, don't do that. At least slow down. If you're going to do that, don't go 45 like that person did, but definitely want to use your outside lanes. I mean, that person was over the double yellow. So just, I mean, there's so many other roads. I mean, this is leading into an issue of hydroplaning, all sorts of danger here. You're crossing the double yellow, you're driving through water. You're in the middle of East Memphis. You've got roads on every block you can take. Just find an alternate route. Hang that left onto Sea Isle and find another way to go, because it's not worth driving through this. I know it's not that deep, but if you're having to cross over the double yellow to go around water, just find another way to go. It might add 2 minutes to your commute. But this is some really deep water here. And like I said, what happened is probably a storm drain got clogged and it's not able to drain. So we're going to have to wait on MLGW to come by and actually sweep that out of the drain, unless we have a good Samaritan, a good neighbor around here that can get a rake and kind of get some of those leaves out of the drain. That person completely on the other side of the road. So folks, just please find an alternate route. It's not worth it, especially in the rain. You can't see that well. Take another route. There's plenty of them around there in East Memphis. Yeah, just avoid that if you can. Let's go back to the radar. We'll get an update on that storm. We're still watching it here. Tornado warning is technically in effect for southeastern Tippah County. Really, the only city included in that is Dumas, but I think any threat of a tornado is out of Dumas now. I think Dumas, I know you're in the middle of the storm. You've got the damaging winds, you've got the heavy rain, but any tornado threat is off to the east of you now, and it's moving into Prentiss County. And honestly, the more I look at it, this is the really nasty part of that storm right in here. I think most of that is going to stay south of Alcorn County. That's why I'm saying I don't think Corinth is going to have to deal with the tornado concern. Yes, you're going to get the heavy rain. You've got a couple more rounds of heavy rain you're going to have to get through. But I think any severe weather concern is quickly winding down for the ABC 24 area. And again, that is going to include Alcorn County and Tippah County. So an update from the National Weather Service. What they've done here is they're going to let the tornado warning go at 9:45, which is when it was scheduled to. They have issued a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. Now, what in the world does that mean? Well, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings, which are the yellow boxes there. That's where we have a threat of damaging winds. Then we've got tornado warnings. Those are the red boxes where we have a threat of a tornado. So what they can do is they can look at a storm and say, yes, it's very windy. We're going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, but the thing could also produce a tornado at some point. It's not doing it right now, but we can put in the warning that a tornado is possible. So that's what they've done. It's kind of being downgraded. So the tornado warning is going away, and that severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue. That's going to go until 10:15. So that, believe it or not, is some good news, because we're starting to see that the threats are coming down. We are losing the potential of a tornado, at least for right now, and those damaging winds will continue. So we still have plenty of damaging wind potential in here that is going to scrape that southern part of Alcorn County. And before we go here, I'll do one more storm track for you and just time out when the worst of that weather is going to be here. And this is getting a little bit out of our area, but just to give you an idea of how fast it is moving out of our area, Farmington and Alcorn County, it's going to be near you about 9:52. So I'm pretty safe in saying, notice Iuka by 10:23. That's in Tishomingo County. So I think by 10 o'clock we can pretty much give everybody the all clear from any type of severe weather, but that flooding concern is going to continue. So an update on what we told you earlier, we had some damage reported in Union County, Mississippi. That's where New Albany is, near the town of Etta. This is where that circulation just started to form. So let's see. A tree has fallen into a home. Columns were knocked out from a porch. And trees were also down between 349 and the West Union School area, according to the Union County EMA. So again, that's technically just out of our area, but it's with the same storm that's about to impact parts of Alcorn County. So while the tornado threat for right now seems to be going away, they're going to let that tornado warning expire here in just about 5 minutes. We still have the potential for damaging wind gusts, at least for about the next hour here in northern Mississippi. So with the tornado warning being canceled, I kind of want to just zoom out and show you everybody. What a sight for sore eyes. Look at the Memphis Metro. We've got rain moving out. Now we're going to see rain continue in western Tennessee and northern Mississippi for another couple of hours. But the worst of the heavy flooding rain is starting to move out. And hopefully that means we can kind of clear up the roadways, let everything drain, and kind of dry out a little bit. A couple of showers are possible through the remainder of the afternoon and the evening, but as far as the heavy rain goes, it is pretty much moving out. It's moving out of Memphis right now. I would say give it another 2 to 3 hours in the rest of the area, and we will be done with the rain. The severe weather threat is going to end even sooner than that. We can pretty much call it quits on the tornado warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings here within the next little bit. So what we'll do here, we'll show you our watch and warning map just to give you an idea of how well things are starting to clear up here. And it's some good news. The tornado watch is only in effect. Remember I mentioned these 3 counties about 10 minutes ago, McNairy, Alcorn, and Tippah. You are the only counties that are still in the tornado watch. Everybody else, we can give the all clear to you. There's that red box, that tornado warning that's still in effect for about another 3 minutes here. We'll stay with you until then. We'll plan to return to regular programming at 9:45. Here's the update I will give you. We've still got those stronger storms in the extreme northeastern corner of Mississippi, also into McNairy County, Tennessee. Give that an hour, any kind of severe weather is going to be done. Flooding remains a concern. I want to take another look outside. This is at White Station and Sea Isle, where we've been watching folks drive through the water, and our cameraman kind of focusing up on the shot there. Didn't give him much heads up that we were coming to him, so give him just a little bit and we'll kind of get back to that shot and show you what's going on. But again, there you see Sea Isle and White Station, if there was any question. All right, let's get away from that, and whenever he gets back on the shot, we'll check back in with him. He's getting ready for the news stories later tonight, so he's probably not too concerned with what we're talking about right now on TV. You know, he's not watching us. There we go. Let's go back to it. He's showing the trash can in the road. It's just murky, nasty floodwater, and we've seen people driving through this. We've seen people crossing over the double yellows to get around this floodwater. And my thing is, like I said, you live in East Memphis. You have so many other road options that you could take to get around this flooding. So don't cross over the double yellow to get around this lake that's in the middle of White Station. Just take another route. You can see that most of the lanes here closest to the camera are covered by water. There's somebody else didn't slow down at all and crossing over the double yellow here. So, I mean, this person's completely on the other side of the road. So just please, folks, just find another route. It's not too difficult. Like I said, you're in East Memphis. There's plenty. I mean, look at this. I don't have anything to say. Let's get off of this. It's making me mad. Just don't do that. Still got a tornado warning until, let's see, we've got about 2 minutes for this, and it does look like they're going to allow that to expire. So here's the situation. Like I said, flooding, certainly a possibility for the next little bit. Take it slow on the roadways as you're out and about. Do not cross the double yellow. I can't believe I have to say that, but don't. I feel like we all learned that in 15-year-old driver's ed. Just don't do that. Heavy rain still coming into Corinth right now. Some damaging wind gusts are possible, but the storms, they are winding down. They are moving out. Corinth, give it another 30 minutes or so, and that rain is pretty much going to be done with you, at least the heaviest of it. We've got some lighter rain back behind that. But this is all starting to wind down, so we can all breathe our sigh of relief. I think as of 9:45, the worst of our severe weather threat is pretty much over. We could certainly still see some gusty winds and heavy rain, but that too will be dying down here in just a little bit. So we got about 20 more seconds here. I'm going to just make sure that they don't issue anything else and that they're totally comfortable canceling that tornado warning. And so we can for sure give you that all clear. Again, we had the warning for Tippah County, parts of Union County, and a sliver of Prentiss County. That was set to go until 9:45, which it is right now, so we'll make sure that drops off. And as soon as it does, we'll return you back to regularly scheduled programming, which on ABC 24 is Pictionary. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We're not going anywhere. If anything serious does pop back up, we will be back on air in a flash. We've got people standing by to get us on if we have to. So stay right here. We've also got the information scrolling at the bottom of your screen. And you can also download that ABC 24 app. We've got the radar there, the live stream there, and the latest forecast. Better yet, it's totally free. Again, that's the ABC 24 app for both iPhone and Android. For all of us here at ABC 24, we've got a whole crew behind the scenes working hard to bring you this information. I'm meteorologist Trevor Burchett. We're now going to send you back to your regularly scheduled programming.